Welcome to Highly Sensitive Healing. I'm Lauren LaSalle, a former therapist, a highly sensitive person, and a mentor for HSPs. For too long, I felt like there was something wrong with me. I felt everything deeply, sounds, emotions, other people's moods, and I learned pretty early on just to push through, to quiet my intuition, and to try to keep up with what everyone else was doing and what society expected of me. But the truth is, my sensitivity was never the problem. I just didn't have the language, support, or tools to understand it. This podcast was created for highly sensitive people who are tired of trying to toughen up or fix themselves and are ready to heal in a way that honors how they're wired. Here, we talk about nervous system regulation, unhelpful thought patterns, emotional overwhelm, and self-trust through a gentle, compassionate lens. You don't need to become someone new to feel better. You don't need to push harder or try more. You get to learn how to care for yourself in ways that actually work for you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, misunderstood, or like you were carrying too much, this space is for you. My hope is that each episode helps you feel a little less alone and a little more at home in yourself. So, wherever you're listening from, welcome. Take a breath, settle in, and let's begin. Welcome back to Highly Sensitive Healing. Today, I had a completely different topic planned for this episode than what I am going to talk about. So if you are listening to this on the day it's released, that is the day that I am recording this because I just did not have an opportunity earlier this week. I just got off the call with The Gathering, which is an offshoot of my HSP community, the healing space. And I will put all of the details about the community in the episode description if you would like to join either. So anyway, I just got off our monthly Zoom meeting with The Gathering, and one of our members shared something with us that I just thought was so great, and I wanted to share it with all of you too because I just thought it was genius. So she was telling another one of our members that it would be very beneficial for him to make sure that he has time in his day to process things because, as I'm sure you might be able to relate to, sometimes when we have downtime, instead of processing things, working through things, just sort of letting ourselves be, we continue to just do things. And that can cause overwhelm in our brain, and our brain doesn't get really time to rest. And so she was telling him that what she does in her day is, instead of scheduling like a chunk of time in her day to just do whatever she needs for herself, she schedules in extra time in her day for things that she needs to do. So, for example, she will, if she has something that maybe will take an hour, she schedules it for an hour and a half or 2 hours even, so that she doesn't feel like she has to rush through getting it done. So that takes off a lot of the pressure of having to do it, especially in a certain time frame. And it also lets her brain just be and not have that added stress, added pressure. Just give herself enough time to do the task, do what she needs to do, and also let her brain process what it's been doing, which I think is great. And I used to do that when I was a therapist. I had to schedule an hour at least in between therapy sessions when I was able to do that because I just needed time to write the patient note afterwards and not feel like I had 10 minutes to get it done, but I had plenty of time to get it done. I could go do whatever else I needed to do for myself before my next client. So I think that is a really important piece of advice and a really good tool to have in your toolbox if that's something you're able to do for yourself during your day. And this is the part that I really wanted to share. And I asked her if I was able to share this, and she did give me permission. So thank you for that. So what she found that she needs to do for herself, so she when she travels, she found that she would often far in advance be thinking about like, oh, I'm going to have to pack. I'm going to have to pack at some point. And that would just be going on in her brain for too long. And it just added extra stress that she didn't need. And so now what she does is she'll have her suitcases packed and ready to go, sometimes a month before her trip, which sounds maybe crazy. It sounds like, why would you do it that far in advance? But that works for her because then she has all that time leading up to the trip where she's not worrying about packing. She's not thinking about packing. She is all set to go. All she has to do is just grab her suitcase and leave when the time comes. And I thought that was such a great illustration of just thinking outside of the box and doing what works for you. Because especially as HSPs, sometimes we have to really get creative with what works for us. Maybe that is packing your suitcase a month in advance so you just aren't worrying about it anymore. Whatever you need to do to relieve any overwhelm, any stress, any pressure from your day. So if there's something that brings you a lot of stress or you find yourself thinking about it over and over, oh, I have to do this, figure out a way to just get it done and see how you feel. And this is what I try to do as much as I can with my days also, like getting my daughter ready for school in the morning. How can we streamline this? How can we get as much ready the day or night before as we can so the mornings don't feel super rushed and stressful? How can I do these things that I need to do through my day with the lowest level of stress and pressure that I can possibly get? So sometimes you have to be really creative. It doesn't matter if other people aren't doing things that way. It doesn't matter if other people think it's really weird that you're doing things a totally different way. If it works for you, then it works. Then do it. And so I know this is a super short episode today, but I just really loved that she shared that. And I hope that gives you a really good visual of thinking out of the box, being creative, figuring out how to live your life as stress-free, overwhelm-free, pressure-free as you possibly can. So it all starts with noticing. Notice what is feeling really overwhelming. What are certain tasks or things you have to do that feel really overwhelming, really rushed, really stressful? And what are some potential other ways that you could do this instead? So you can even make a list. Just write anything down that comes up. It doesn't have to make sense or be something that anyone else does. Just write everything down that comes to mind and then try different ways and see what works for you. Because that's all we can really do for ourselves is just do what works, what makes us feel happy and feel good and be able to live the best life that we can. So that's what I've got for you today. I know it was short, but I think if you take this to heart, it will really make an impact on your life. And I will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to Highly Sensitive Healing. You can help support the podcast by taking a minute to rate and review it, share your favorite episode with a friend, or become a subscriber on Patreon. Visit laurenlasalle.com for information about my mentorship programs, join my email list to stay up to date with how I can support you, as well as exclusive email list perks, and connect with me on Instagram at I am Lauren LaSalle. Happy healing.